If you're a newbie, watch this video. Hi, it's Andy from gymnutrition.co.uk, back again with another video. As you can see, I'm out riding my bike, and today I want to cover newbie questions. I'm on a couple of these Facebook pages, like the bodybuilding Facebook pages, and it seems like one in particular, which I'm not going to name, comes up with quite a few newbie questions, and a lot of those questions, oh god, where do you start? I'm having to come off these pages because it's just kind of frustrating. I know I shouldn't let it bother me, but it kind of does sometimes. So anyway, here's a few newbie questions tried to put simply and answered. That don't make any sense, but you know what I mean anyway. So the first thing they say is, I need to get as big as possible in the shortest amount of time. I need to put on as much muscle quickly. There's always the quickly thrown at the end of that question sentence. Now quickly, in my eyes, is, I don't know, around about 2 years. Look at them, like fishing in the river out of season. Say you're looking 2 years, so 2 years is quickly. If you're genetically gifted and you're training correctly and you're eating correctly, which is probably more important than the training, to be honest, and you're getting the correct amount of sleep, so in other words, everything's on point. Eat, sleep, train, repeat consistently for 2 years. Then, as I said, if you're genetically gifted, you will put on a decent amount of size in that period of time. It's not going to happen in 3 months, 6 months, even 8 months. You'll see increase in size in 6 or 8 months, but you won't get as big as possible in 6 or 8 months. There's no way in a million years that's ever going to happen. So that's the first one. The other one is, they always say about, oh, I've been training for a year and I don't seem to put on any size. Now I'll guarantee that they will not be training hard enough. How hard's hard enough? Harder than the last workout. So every workout you want to strive to beat the previous workout. And you don't train the same body part 6 days a week. Oh, I need a big chest, I'm going to train my body part, my chest in this instance, every day, 7 days a week, and wonder why they're not going to get any bigger. The training is a stimulus. The stimulus only. You do not grow when you're training. You just stimulate that muscle to grow if you're training hard enough. Because if you're training your chest hard enough, again, harder than the last workout, your body says to itself, oh my god, I cannot cope with the amount of stress that this guy's putting me under. I need to get bigger and stronger to cope with the amount of weight that this guy's lifting. So that gives it the reason to grow. And once you've got the reason for it to grow, then you need to feed it. It's not going to grow on fresh air. You need fuel, you need protein, fats, carbohydrates. If you don't know how much protein, fat, carbohydrates to eat, then probably watch one of my other videos on proteins, etc, etc. So that's kind of the training side, the eating side of it. Another commonly asked question is, oh well, how many sets do I need to do? How many reps do I need to do? Well, this is not set in stone, but I would suggest for the average bod, I would probably say strive for 8 to 10 reps ish per set. Now it doesn't mean you need to go balls out on every single set, so you wouldn't use your, say we'll use the bench press for argument's sake, you wouldn't say to yourself, right, okay, I'm going to do my heaviest weight that I can get 10 reps on the first set. No, you may do like 5 or 6 sets. You'll start with a very light weight and you'll do, I don't know, 15, 18, 20 reps. That's a warm-up. That's just a warm-up. It's not going to stimulate any muscle growth. That's just warming up to your 8 to 10 rep set. So the first set, as I say, 16, 18, 20 reps, whatever, and then you'll put a little bit more weight on the bar, and then you may do 12 reps. And that 12 rep set, I'd probably say, well, for me, it was roughly 70% effort. And then I'll put a little bit more weight on. I might do 10 reps at maybe 80% effort. And then I'll put a bit more weight on it, enough where I know I'm going to do around about 8 reps. And I would do that as 100% effort. Where ideally you need a training partner, so when you fail you're not going to strangle yourself under the bar, and you may or may not choose to do some forced reps. So when I say forced reps, if you can do 8 reps yourself and the 8th rep is just about going up by itself and your training partner's kind of hovering there saying come on, that's it, push, and you complete that 8th rep, but that was blooming hard, do a 9th rep, because you know if you fail, which if that's the case you probably will from what I just said, your training partner can help force that last rep up. So you've well and truly failed, and then you can move on to the next one. So I would say roughly 8 to 10 reps per exercise. Possibly you could argue the toss with the exception of legs, where you could go maybe 12, 15 reps roughly. Again, this is not set in stone. Don't overcomplicate things. When you first start, don't overcomplicate anything. The eating, don't overcomplicate the eating. Oh, I need to do this, I need to eat this, I need to eat that at that certain time, and I've got to have my intra-workout, my pre-workout, my post-workout, I've got to get my amino acids in, and I've got to get my pre-workout in, and it's all about nutrient timing, da 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 da. When you first start, don't complicate it, just do the basics. Once you've exhausted the basics, then you can start looking a little bit deeper in if you're still well into it in a couple of years time. So that's that one sorted out. Another common one is, oh, I do 200 sit-ups every morning and yet I can't seem to shift my abdominal fat. You cannot shift abdominal fat by doing 200 sit-ups every morning. 200 sit-ups every morning is going to work to an extent your core and your lower back, believe it or not, but it's not going to shift body fat per se. Body fat comes from reducing carbohydrate. Do more cardio as well can help, but it's certainly not going to help by doing hundreds of sit-ups every day. You're not going to spot reduce fat. Whenever you go on a diet, you will reduce body fat, but you can't reduce it in a specific area. So basically it will come off your whole body, and the last place you will normally see a fat reduction is going to be the abdominal area. Why is that? Because most men carry fat around the abdominal area. You don't carry loads and loads of fat on your arms and on your shoulders, for argument's sake, and on your thighs and your calves. They're usually lower fat percentage than your core. So for me, for argument's sake, my lower abs I carry fat, and around the lower side of my back as well they'll carry fat. So if you reduce 1% say of body fat from your whole entire body, then you're going to notice it more on the areas that don't carry a lot of fat, like the legs and the arms and the shoulders. So you think, oh, I'm kind of looking a little bit leaner. Then you lift your top up and you think, oh, I've still got fat. It's a bit like if you've got, I don't know, a bucket of water, say it's got 8 pints of water in there, and you take 2 pints out, you'll notice a reduction in the water level on that bucket. Now if you fill a bath up with water and you take 2 pints out, you're not really going to notice a reduction in it. Even though you still took the same 2 pints out, it kind of, bath looks kind of full, the same as it did before. Same as your body, you take a little bit out of shoulders, for argument's sake, where there's not a lot of fat, and you're going to notice it more. Does that make sense? I kind of said it in a crap way, but you get the idea. So anyway, there's a few tips, hope that helps. I've stopped off because I need a piss in the lay-by. I don't know whether I dare because there's a car up there. But please consider subscribing as usual. It's free, so why would you not? Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down if I'm being a dick as usual. And thanks for getting to the end, and I'll speak to you on the next one.